TC, Spiritual Shepherd. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're getting into some very in-depth quotes, either that are interconnected with business, fitness, success, motivation, different things like this. But ultimately, do not go where it is easier. Don't always gravitate towards what is easiest, because generally easiest tends to be that instant gratification. Don't overly instant gratify yourself. Okay, a lot of the wins is the discipline, which means that you're putting off the things that you want right now. That's what you're doing. You're putting off the things that you want right now because better things are going to be coming soon right after. Soon right after. Soon. Okay, so let's get into this. Now, do not wish for better wind. Okay, so now that you've made it, now that you're a success, or now that you are, most of the nitty gritty stuff, most of the work is done, most of it is, and now you are cultivating the automations of it. Now that you have built, a substantial amount of videos, now that you built a YouTube, now that you built a business, now that you've built, something that really, cultivates your life, that makes money, that, allows you to travel, allows you to be with your family more, allows you to be with your friends more. Okay, do not wish for better wins. Now that you have all this stuff, now that you have everything that you've asked for, that you've prayed for, now that you have everything that you've asked and prayed for, don't wish for a better wind. Instead, have better sails. Continuously upgrade and integrate better sailing. Okay, better direction, better sailing. Okay, better intuition, so you know where you're going, where you want to land on, what places you want to land on. What's your next piece of land that you're going to land on? Now that you have everything you've asked for, that you've prayed for, okay, not begged for, but prayed for. Now that you have everything that you've asked for, treat it with the highest reverence, respect, and integrity. Being integrated. Respect comes from self-respect. Reverence is a high respect to royalty and nobility. Okay? To the empress, to the emperor, to the king, to the queen. Don't wish for it to be easier. Instead, have the wish be fulfilled that you are already the strongest, and it is easiest for you even when it seems to be harder in the experience or the environment. Meaning that you are strong enough to show up. You are strong enough to show up even when it might be potentially difficult. That it's easy for you to show up in difficult times. Okay, there's actually this quote, which I'm not going to butcher it, but I'll speak it in just a moment. Stay disciplined in your fortitude of being and becoming a better human being daily. Not just 1% better, but that's a great start. But continuously better. Some days are going to have more, some days are going to have less percentage. Okay, let's get this quote. Okay, so it says that tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men, and weak men create tough times. You have to raise warriors and not parasites. You guys take that with what you will, or you guys can just feminize the shit out of it and just say that it was only talking about men. Just change the terminology and verbology, and that's it. I actually think that it would very much do the same thing with women. I mean, you can literally just humans too. Like, you got humans, beings. Tough times create strong women. Okay, and I think that strength, and I think that the whole thing with the feminism is, I think that it generally is not necessarily like the hard jobs. You'll never really see a woman be like, I want to be a trash man who makes $100,000. It's generally more the white collar jobs that I've realized. It's less the blue collar jobs. It's more of the financially lucrative, which I have no problem with. I'm not bashing at all. I'm just saying that I think there's a different kind of strength to a woman. And I think that that's what men have also been trying to convey is that, like there is a purpose for me to be the strong one. There is a purpose for me to, devour things. There is a purpose for me to protect and provide. There's also, if you want to provide, there's things that you can provide. There are things that you can cultivate. There are things that, that you need to blossom and flower and bloom, And I think that there are true feminine empress warriors in the world, even though I think they're very, 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 very rare. Just like I'm sure they think that emperor king men are very, very, very rare. Okay, let's keep going. If you do not feel it, flee from it. Go where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated. So I'm going to get into some of these different quotes. These are very high developing quotes, very high resilience quotes, okay? Motivational quotes. Think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. I'm stronger because I had to be. I'm smarter because of my mistakes, because I had to be. I'm happier because of the sadness that I had known. And now I am wiser because I have already learned. Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Bruce Lee. Don't wish for it to be easier. Wish for it to be better. I think we can transmute a little bit of these words, just so you know. I want to be wild, beautiful, and free, like the mother of the sea. Mother Earth. Think about it, y'all. Okay, now there is the term wild, beautiful, and free. That does not mean, I don't have to get into it. It does not mean that you offer yourself to the entire world. All right? That's you could be wild in your divine, you could be in your fiery feminine. You could be in your divine feminine, but that does not mean that you have to be a fill in the blank. There are two types of people who will tell you you cannot make a difference, and there are people who are afraid to see that you will. There are two types of people that will tell you that you cannot make a difference in this world. Those who are afraid to try and those who are afraid that you will succeed. I got it. I said that wrong. Doing what you like is freedom. Liking what you do is happiness. So doing what you like to do is happy freedom. I made that last one up. Doing what you like is freedom. Liking what you do is happiness. That's the quote. Okay? So doing what you like to do is happy freedom. Joyful freedom. I always find beauty in things that are odd and imperfect. They are much more interesting. I would say that rarity is odd. Rarity is imperfect. Rarity is much more interesting. Rarity, you can find beauty. Because if I literally say this, okay, guys, and some reason it's just popping up. It's the same with men. But just because you wear less doesn't mean that you're more valuable. I don't think that that's necessarily a spoken rule or that it's spoken out. But generally, it's like the last 100 years, it's just like, let's just take our clothes off. It's type of vibe. It's very interesting. And I'm not saying that you're, but the real garment that we're wearing is our skin. The real garment that we are wearing is our skin. This is a true spiritual, hopefully you receive it. This is a true spiritual lesson. So by offering that up, I also think too that a big thing that in this day and age is if you wear less, that does not mean inherently that you're more valuable. Specifically, if most people are doing things, if most people are poor, if most people are fat, if most people are broke, if most people are depressed, if most people are anxious, then I think that it's not necessarily, and it's most, then I think it's a byproduct, it's a production, it's the produce, it's the byproduct of the system itself. Of the system itself. And inherently, people are ingrained in the system through numbers. Through numbers. Okay, so people are inherently connected to the system, operate with the system. Remember in the Matrix when they said that, so many people are inherently still, connected and deeply ingrained in the system and conditioned and conditioned by and programmed by the system that they will fight almost to the death to make sure that it stays intact. Okay? Because they don't realize that they are actually, they don't have to be a part of that system. They don't have to actually, attach themselves to the way that systems have always systematically been produced. Some people will see me easier, more easily. Some people will not see me as easy, okay? Okay, so this is Bulgarian. The subtle art of doing everything calmly without rushing whilst enjoying the experience of life in general. Okay, this is Alyak. Alyak. It's a word. You are amazing and strong and brave and wonderful. Just remember this. Okay, it's not selfish to love, to take care of yourself, to love who you are, to have your happiness be a priority to who you are. It's necessary. Okay, this is kind of one big thing that I cultivated with selfish self-sabotage and selfless self-care. If you guys want, more on this will be in my business. But selfish self-sabotage is just, you say, oh, I'm doing me. 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 And you're always just in that vibe where you're just trying to vibe out, but you know that you're not doing it well. You are self-sabotaging yourself through selfish pursuits of gratifying the ego instantly, instant gratification. So I'm doing me. When somebody says that, man or woman, peace. It's necessary. Selfless self-care. Selfless self-care is the complete opposite. There is no me. But as much as people will say that you're arrogant, there is no me. It's just I've disciplined myself to where it looks like I actually care. I know that sounds crazy because it is. It's selfless self-care. It's not for myself. It's for a higher purpose. It's something higher than myself. And so I could see how that could be misconstrued and confused a lot of times. But ultimately, this is what it is I don't want to wake up at 3:30 in the morning and go to the gym, but I'm going to be first place because I woke up first place, okay? So that's going to be my whole thing. Wake up, show up to the gym, because you woke up first, you're first place, ultimately. And you showed up at the gym, first place. You showed up, you were on the first treadmill. You're the first person to walk in. You're the first person to hit the weights. You're the first person to train for the entire day. The last person who just went to sleep at 3:30, okay? Because they were partying, because they were drinking, because they were intoxicated, because they were up, okay? Because they were messed up, because they were doing something that they weren't supposed to do because they didn't care for themselves enough. That's the problem. So I just take the ego out of it and I say, it's not about me. It's not about TC. I don't even know what TC wants. Okay, I know what the Most High needs for the kingdom to come, which is ultimately the actions that I do, the actions that I fulfill on a daily by daily basis. And this is non-negotiables. This is ritualistic disciplines. This is building businesses, cultivating fitness, nutrition. Nutrition is one of the most wanty instant gratification things that people are sleeping on because they know that their phone is. They know that their phone, you might be watching this on a phone or on a TV or something. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you could be still observant. You could still be observant of it, where you could see, okay, I do have somewhat a problem. Most people have a problem with their phone, but can you see that you have a problem with food? Can you see that you have a problem? You have a discipline and you're undisciplined. You have a discipline and you're undisciplined. That you're disciplined in sleeping in. You're disciplined in eating bad. You're disciplined in it. You are a disciple of it. See, those are the types of disciples that we do not want to cultivate. Okay? The discipleship that we are cultivating is the discipleship of discipleship. You are a disciple of your disciple. Okay? Or of your discipleship. You're disciplined in your discipline. So you have a discipline, you're more consistent, you're more persistent, you're more integrated, you're more integrity filled, you're more trustworthy because you are confident, because you've built more confidence, because you've done it more, because you cultivate it more, because you're like Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, literally, wake up at 4, okay? You could have 2 more practices than somebody who wakes up at 8 because you can have a practice every 2 hours, okay? You could shoot 400 shots in 2 hours. You could shoot 500 shots in 2 hours. So you know that if you could do that, you are already 1,000 shots ahead of everybody every day. Every single day. So 10 days, I'm already what? Oh, I'm sorry, it'd be what? Yeah, 500 shots. Yeah, so it'd be in 10 days, I'm 10,000 shots ahead of you. So no wonder I'm leaps and bounds ahead of them. That's the thing that they do not understand. That's something that we might understand, but that's not something that they might understand, which is totally fine. So you be here now, you cultivate you here now, and you realize that you can cultivate the best version of we, because we are in the same like-minded tribe, the same like-minded soul tribe, that we are cultivating the disciplines. We are implementing the quotes. We read Plato, we read Aristotle, we read Socrates, we read Marcus Aurelius. We are Stoics. We are cultivating our emotions. We are not selfish. We are selfless. We ultimately take our ego out of it and do the best for the community, best for the tribe, best for the generations, best for the family, best. You are the Godfather. You are the Godfather. Okay? Our tribe is the Godfather. Godfather of society. Successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. So we've also talked about the scale of consciousness. So successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. So there's something called willingness. There's courage, there's acceptance, there's neutrality, there's willingness. Courage, acceptance, neutrality, willingness. Maybe it's acceptance after willingness. Regardless. Courage, neutrality, willingness. Courage, neutrality, willingness. Okay. You must have courage. Before courage is anger, because you are not going to make a move. You're just angry about it. You're just like, And then courage is having the courage to do something about it. So that means that you're going to be brave. You're going to be courageous. You're going to step forth. Okay. Then there is the neutrality, where it's just like, okay, everything's really just neutral. And it's really my perception to everything that changes, whether it's negative or positive. And that is a very good place to be. There's a Stoic quote that also talks about neutrality, cultivating your neutrality. So sometimes the best perspective is just to be neutral about it, not to have the best opinion is to not have an opinion at all. Right there. The best opinion is not to have an opinion at all, but be neutral to all opinion. Okay, so this is a big cultivation in this. Okay, so then you must be willing. So willingness is like, I'm willing to do this. I am willing to do this. And willingness is a higher vibration. It's definitely a higher frequency than at least this systematic society. And so I want you guys, even if you guys aren't operating on love, which is higher than what you guys might think, okay, because a lot of it is conditional love. Including myself, like including all of us, it's a lot of it is conditional love, and unconditional love is like I love you regardless, which is a very deep, devout love that is very rare. A lot of it's more like brotherly love, agape love, stuff like this, or Philadelphia love. But ultimately, guys, do not wish it were to be easier, wish it were to be better, or have better sales. Don't wish that you can have a better, or don't wish that there's better winds. Wish that you can sail better. Okay? Surrender to what is. Let go of what was. Have faith in what will be, because that is coming. Surrender to what is. Surrender. This actually releases anxiety. This releases anxiety. This is a whole technique, and it might be too 5D for you. But everything that you're experiencing right now that you think is separate of you is all one, as well as it's already happened. So any movement that I move has already happened in higher states of reality. This transforms because then it brings people up like, whoa, so literally whatever I do today doesn't matter, but it does matter. So it starts to ingrain your mentality, your spirituality, your emotionality, and not your physicality, which we will be getting into a future video called Do Not Focus on the Physical. Most people are focused on the materialistic. Most people are focused on the cars, the purses, the houses. Most people are focused on their vanity of their fitness. Most people are focused on money. Most people are just focused on finances. And I have no problem with any of these things inherently, but it's the spirit behind them, to where when we have a better spirit behind it, we can cultivate a more substantial life, a more substantial spirit. So make sure that you are the successful person that is willing to do what the unsuccessful person is not willing to do. Sometimes that's even just show up. Sometimes that's just show up. A lot of people, I don't have any competition. I have zero competition, and I have 100% confidence in that. Do you want to know why? Because people do not show up for themselves. There's too many people. I am a 0.00000000001. Okay? Like literally 1 in 400 trillion. And the whole thing, 444, right when I said that. 1 in 400 trillion. The whole, and not only that, that's just to exist. And so if you rarefy your existence, you're an anomaly. You don't exist. The whole thing is like and I'm not saying you don't exist, like you are in existence. You do exist, but I'm saying like nobody's like you. You're not 1 in a million. You're one of a kind. You're one of a beingness. You are one. You are the one. You are the one. There's no one like you. They can try to imitate, they can try to emulate, but there's just not one being like you. Like the collective Christ consciousness. There's nothing like it. Why do you think they tell lies to your vision through the television? They want to tell you visions. They want to tell you a vision. So you have to really look at what is your vision of life. Stop paying attention to the visuals outside and pay attention to your envisionment. Pay attention to what you're envisioning, your imagination, what you are cultivating, how you are assuming, how you are thinking, and what your vision and your mission truly is. I don't know what my purpose is. You are purpose. You are the purpose. You are the purpose. Why are you here? Why are you here? You can only write your own story, so you have to tell everybody why you're here. Why would you ask too many questions? Because you're caring too much about how other people perceive you. I don't really care how other people perceive me. I really don't. And that makes me allowed to be perceived better by the people who are willing to perceive me the proper way, the better way, the more ingrained proper way. Peace, much love, namaste. Talk to you guys soon. Ultimately, guys, Kaizen, change for the better. Kaizen, change for the better. Okay, ask yourself, how can I be better? How can I be better? How can I change myself to be better today? Peace, much love, namaste.